Okay, good morning, First Minister. Going back to the announcement of the preferred bidder, can you tell us why it was you that personally announced FMEL as the preferred bidder for the contract and whether that's something that you would normally do?
Let me try and break that question down a little bit into is it normal for decisions on preferred bidders and contracts to be publicly announced? And then I'll come on to why me and whether it's something I would normally do. In terms of whether it's normal to announce a preferred bidder, it is certainly not abnormal. Often at the point at which a preferred bidder is being announced, if you think about it, the successful bidder, the preferred bidder has been notified, the unsuccessful bidders are being notified. There is always a possibility at that point that things will leak into the public domain anyway, so there is often a decision taken to announce preferred bidder. I could find you examples of other governments doing exactly the same. UK government on a train contract, the Welsh government a couple of years ago on a major roads contract. Just as it happens, a few months after this announcement, I announced, and this I suppose takes to your question, is it something I would normally do? I announced that I think in May 2016, if memory serves me correctly, I announced that CalMac was the preferred bidder for the Clyde and Hebrides ferry services contract. Nothing to do with Ferguson's, obviously, in the broader ferry space, but that was the contract for the operator in the ferry service. So I announced the preferred bidder of that. So that would suggest to you it's not completely unknown for preferred bidders to be announced, or indeed for me to do it. Finally, in terms of why did I do it as opposed to a minister? In any government decision leading to an announcement, there will be a consideration within government. It will involve special advisors, communications officials about, should this be something that the First Minister does? And that is how, the sort of media diary of the First Minister is determined. And often I'll get suggestions, there's an announcement coming up and the proposal is that you do it. That's what would have happened here.
Right. Who took the decision to make the announcement in August?
It would have been, well, if you read, as I have now done, the 20th of August submission to Keith Brown seeking approval for the preferred bidder. If memory serves me correctly, I think you see in that submission that it was always intended that it would be publicly announced. I think the suggestion in that submission is that it would be the Transport Minister who did it. So at some point after that, in the course of that process that will go on literally every day in government, looking at the announcements that are coming up and judgments being made about whether the profile of the announcement, the subject matter of the announcement, the importance of the announcement means that it should be a minister or that it should be a first ministerial announcement. And that will have emerged as a result of a consideration that special advisors, communications officials do, that will have come to me to say there's a proposal that you should make this announcement, and I'll have said yes, I'll do that.
So it was you that took the decision?
I assume, well, ultimately I don't end up at places making announcements unless I have sort of agreed to do it. So it won't have been, if it is the way these things happen, it will have come to me as a proposal that because of the nature of this announcement, it would be appropriate for me to do it. And I will have agreed. Obviously, I think it is common sense to say I must have agreed to that because otherwise I wouldn't have been there making the announcement. So,
right. So did you instigate that?
Not,
or did somebody come, did a transport official, a minister?
In the normal, so this is several years ago, so I'm not going to say that I can tell you exactly the sequence of events there from memory, but in the normal course of events, and I have no reason to believe that it would have been different here, it is unlikely that I will have instigated it because I wouldn't necessarily have had knowledge that it was coming up on the date that it was. It will have come to me as a proposal. And these kind of proposals come to me regularly. The government makes announcements, well, if not every day, the government makes announcements regularly, several times a week. And in all of these, there'll be a process of judgment about who's the right person to make that announcement. And when the judgment is that that should be me. That will come to me in a proposal, and I am pretty certain that that's what would have happened here.
Yeah. So I'll just keep this in short. But would it normally, an announcement like that, would it have came through a Cabinet Secretary, a Minister? Would it be Transport Scotland? Who would normally come to you and give you the proposal? Would it be a special advisor?
On an announcement for a sort of public announcement that would be a media event, that would be a communications special advisor sort of proposal that would come to me in that sense.
Right.
But that, you know, that often, yeah, again, I'm telling you things here that I guess most people already know. You know, we, as every government does, I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same process with prime ministerial announcements. You have a look ahead to, you know, things that are coming up over the next few weeks, and the communications teams with special advisor input will decide, you know, here's an announcement that's coming up. This might be one for the First Minister to do. So,
right.
You know, I don't recall whether this would have been the case on this particular announcement, but I'll often, you know, have a look ahead with suggestions of media announcements that I will do over the next 2 or 3 weeks, for example.
That's okay.